The following podcast is sponsored by Structure Tech.
It's hard to talk about failure, isn't it? It's probably one of the most uncomfortable topics that you could bring up. No one likes to admit to them. And yet it's the most relatable topic.
We all make mistakes. We all blow it at one point. A lot of us make just as many mistakes as we get it down right. But you know what a lot of us don't do? Learn. See, a mistake could either be your best friend or your worst enemy. The relationships you have with your mistakes will be the reason you succeed or the reason you fail.
This is Structure Talk, a podcast from Minnesota's most highly rated home inspection company, Structure Tech. We're the people who do home forensics and deliver the unbiased truth about your property. Structure Talk is hosted by our home inspection specialists, Reuben Saltzman, Tessa Murray, and Bill Ulrich.
Welcome, everybody. Bill Ulrich here, as always, with my co-hosts Tessa Murray and Reuben Saltzman. And today we have another guest in the studio with us, Jim Tobias. He's one of the team over here at Structure Tech. And thank you for tuning in to Structure Talk. Today we're going to be talking about some home inspection horrors. We do make mistakes. It's hard to admit that, but occasionally we run into problems. So today we're going to dive into some of the horror stories, some of those calls we never want to make, but actually do. So I'm going to throw it out. Let's start with you, Reuben. Tell me your best story, your best inspection story.
I've got so many. And I'll tell you, I'm one of the few people who may have made some of these mistakes twice. I don't know. I guess I joke that I've got a high pain threshold for self-inflicted pain somehow. And whatever the mistake is, I've made it at least once. I keep making more and more, I swear. Definitely one of the most embarrassing, and I shared this on my blog. I'll share a link to the blog post about it, was when I was training George in. And he and I went upstairs, we're filling up the bathtub like we do to get the bathtub all the way to the overflow to make sure the overflow is not leaking. And this was a huge tub and it's taken forever. And we got the whole upper level inspected before it's done filling. And we're like, oh, well, we'll just get started on the first floor and we'll come back and check it in a minute or two. And smash cut to like 45 minutes later. We're done inspecting the first floor. We're done inspecting we're inspecting the basement. We're walking around and one of our clients is like, there's water coming out of the ceiling. Is that supposed to happen?
No.
And all of a sudden I felt my face just turn beet red. I realized instantly what it was. I'm like, no. And I run upstairs and George was already up there. I guess George figured it out before the client was there. And he's just like mopping stuff up as fast as he can. No. He's like, yeah, we got a little mess. And we cleaned it all up as best we could. But I mean, it was a mess. I mean, we needed a water recovery team to come in. Wow. I can't remember who came in and did it, but I mean, it was nasty.
Do you think every home inspector has a water story that they're just wishing they could forget, right?
You really haven't lived until you've flooded a house. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, but here's something I didn't say on the blog or on the video that I did. Now, this is the worst part. This is the one I only usually talk about at the bar or something, but it's intimate here. Nobody
After
listens.
A few drinks.
Nobody listens to this podcast, right? So here's the part I would do differently. When I was all done, the homeowners ended up coming home, and they're like, disgusted. I mean, you are an idiot. And it was just one of the most embarrassing things ever. They're like, does this happen all the time? So I went home, and then later that night, I realized I had left my sunglasses there.
Leave them.
Yeah.
You leave them there.
Yeah.
You didn't go back and get them, did you?
I
should have. Back when they were
I should have just left them. I did go back like the same day or the next day. Then the neighbor was there and helping him dry stuff out. And the neighbor's a contractor, and the neighbor gave me the what for. And I could have died. That was one of the dumbest things I've done to follow up a stupid thing. No, the glasses are gone. Don't even mess with this. But I did.
Terrible.
I feel my face turning red just talking about it.
Were they prescription?
No, they weren't. They were just new. That was all.
So
I wanted them back.
How long were you in the business before you ran into this?
I had been doing inspections for about 7-8 years.
Oh, well, that's a pretty good run.
Happened.
without a major problem.
Yeah, it took a while before I flooded a tub, but I flooded a tub. How about you, Tess?
Me too. I flooded a tub too. This was, I think I had just gotten released from the training process, and I had a new trainee with me. I won't mention names, but we were both inspecting this house and we're filling up the tub, obviously. Common theme here. We walk away. I'm down in the kitchen talking to the buyer, and water starts dripping out of the recess can light in the soffit right above us onto the counter. And right away, I'm like, oh no, I know it was happening. I run upstairs. The tub is overflowing. The whole bathroom floor is wet. And that was a very angry, not only buyer's father, but seller as well.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Bill had to deal with the aftermath on
I
that
came
one.
out too.
Yeah,
You did too.
Yeah.
I apologize.
No, that's good. All right.
Man.
But there's always there's a positive spin to everything, right? So that lady whose house we overflowed the tub on just happened to be my neighbor across the street, her next door best friend growing up. So as soon as we walked in the house, I'm like,
gosh.
Karen, Bill?
Oh my gosh.
And I happened to sell this lady my pontoon boat like a year earlier. So it was interesting. But,
Yeah, that was a mess. I actually had another water incident. Reuben, you were a part of this one too. I was doing an inspection for one of our recommended contractors.
Oh my
Actually,
goodness, yeah.
his personal house he was buying, and he wanted you there, but I was like second choice. So you stopped by for a little bit just to make an appearance, I think. And I was removing an access cover for a tub drain.
Yep.
And when I'd taken it off, I wasn't really paying that close attention, but I noticed it was one screw, and it was a long screw, and it was holding this access panel cover on, and it was kind of sticking out of the wall a little bit. Well, check the tub drain, make sure nothing was leaking, go to put this access cover back on, and I'm drilling the screw back into the same hole it was originally in, just one screw, into the sheetrock, and it was like, maybe 6 inches to a foot up above the actual hole, so I was just putting the screw back in the same hole, put it in, and I feel like I hit something when the screw goes in. Next thing I know.
And so everybody's aware, we don't use screwdrivers. We don't mess around with that. We use
drills. I was
or
using a
impact
drill.
drivers,
We don't
yeah.
have time to unscrew everything by hand. So
Yeah.
I'm using my drill, putting the screw back in the same hole. Hit something. Next thing I know, water is spraying out of the wall, just everywhere, just spraying. And I had hit a water supply pipe. And that's why the pointed screw that was 3 inches long was sticking out of the wall an inch when I took the panel cover off initially. And it was sheer panic. And I think I yelled out at the buyer, the guy that we recommend for business. I said, please turn off the water. He ran down the basement, shut off the water. It was too late. There was, water dripping on the ceiling in the living room below. It was a mess. And you were just leaving, Reuben. Were you just leaving?
You come running out or something, and
Yeah.
you're like, don't leave.
I
don't leave.
flagged you down, and you were amazing. You ended up driving to Home Depot,
That's
10
right.
minutes away, and you bought a little shark bite, a thing to
Just
cut
a shark
off.
bite fitting
Yeah.
and a cutter.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Reuben went back in there, cut off the damaged piece of pipe, put in a fitter, and fixed the pipe.
And then just to make sure that we were all good, this was before we had hired Joe.
Yeah.
Now, Joe,
Yeah.
one of our inspectors, is also a licensed plumber.
Yeah.
And it was right when we were skirting with hiring him, and I said, hey, Joe, by the way, we haven't hired you yet, but can I hire you as a plumber to go out and bless my work? Because I did this temporarily, but I'm not a plumber. I shouldn't
Right.
be fixing stuff. Can you go out and either fix it or, do whatever you do, bless it?
Mm-hmm.
And he did that for $75 or something.
Oof.
And,
Yeah, that was
and then
terrible.
We had painting to fix too, because we wrecked the ceiling too.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to cut you off on this. It's starting to hurt. When we come back, we're gonna let Jim talk. We feel a little bad. He's been sitting over here watching us for the last 10 minutes, but we're going to get back into Jim's horror story. We'll be right back.
For more information on how we can provide you with the right information about your home before you buy or sell, contact us at StructureTech1.com.
Are you looking for peace of mind when it comes to buying a home? StructureTech is on the case. At StructureTech, we provide a comprehensive menu of inspection services so you can make the most intelligent decision on your home purchase. We also offer radon testing, mainline sewer inspections, level 2 chimney inspections, and specialized stucco inspections. StructureTech, delivering the unbiased truth. please visit us online at structuretech1.com.
You're listening to Structure Talk, brought to you by Structure Tech, the most highly rated home inspection company in the Midwest. Delivering to you the unbiased truth about your home.
Welcome back, everybody. My name's Bill Ulrich, here with Reuben Saltzman and Tessa Murray, and our guest of the day is Jim Tobias, all from Structure Tech, and we're here talking houses. Structure Talk. Thanks for joining. So, Jim, tell me about your worst experience.
Well, I don't like saying this out loud because it's going to probably jinx myself, but I don't have a overflowing bathtub story or horrible water incident, but
Something much worse, probably, right? Yeah.
Now I can expect in the next week, I'm sure I'll find one. I had an inspection set up in a community out in Stillwater on a private road. And while driving out to the inspection, I knew the size of the home and kind of style of the home. And it was a very, very large home, not a lot of homes that size, not that I inspect anyways. And as I was coming down the street, my Google Maps alerted me that I was approaching. So I stopped and I pulled out and I walked on the property and I took a bunch of pictures. And because of the size of the property, that was, 15 or 20 minutes of my time to take a lot of good establishing outdoor photos. And I go to the front door and I thought it was supposed to be a keypad. It was an electronic lockbox, which should have been my giveaway, but I went ahead and unlocked the front door and I went.
The code worked?
The code worked. I went inside and started to look around and turn things on and take pictures as I went through the interior of the home. And I remembered a conversation I had with the buyer's agent that said the home was vacant and that the listing agent had confirmed that it was vacant and that might make things go faster. And I thought it always does. But here was clothing and furniture and other belongings, and I thought maybe they miscommunicated.
Yeah.
And then I started to kind of get more and more nervous that too many things weren't adding up and I was in the wrong home. So I had let myself into someone else's home for sale on the same block, and I left. I went outside and looked at the number on the sign, and I called the listing agent and I told her what had happened, and I called the office and told them what had happened, and it was kind of a chuckle, but it makes you look kind of foolish, and I'm glad
in the inspection world, if there's a walk of shame, you certainly had one going down that.
Well, then I had to drive like 2 more houses down and park there and kind of in the background look at this house that I had, partially inspected only a few minutes earlier. But
Wouldn't you like to be the person across the street watching this whole transplant?
Yeah, they said that's the quickest home inspection I've ever seen.
Yeah, exactly.
But everybody was polite about it and nobody got upset, but if somebody had been home, that could have been much more awkward or intense, and maybe a lot more apologies other than I let myself in your house and took some pictures in your house and then left.
Speaking of that, Reuben, didn't you just write a blog about that very issue?
Yes.
And you actually ran into people that lived at the house.
Oh, this was much worse. This was the truth in housing evaluation. And it was back in like 2005. And we had this one agent. This girl was selling like a house a week. She was on fire. And all of her clients were Spanish-speaking clients. And so she would refer us to do a lot of home inspections and a lot of TISH evaluations. Pre-sale inspection. They take like 45 minutes to an hour. We're licensed by the city licenses us to do these inspections. And for the most part, I'd kind of point and I'd do thumbs down to the people. There'd be a language barrier, and no es bueno. I'd do my broken Spanish to try to tell them when things aren't good. And I was supposed to be doing an inspection on, I think it was Chicago, like 4516 Chicago, and I went to 4516 Columbus, or whatever's the street right after Chicago that also starts with the C.
Yeah.
I just had it mixed up in my head. Showed up, Spanish-speaking clients. I'm 10 minutes early, and I'm like, I'm here to do the TISH evaluation. They're like, no, okay, no, what? And they're confused. I'm like, it's okay. I show them my badge, and I just kind of barge in, and I'm like, it's okay. They're looking at me sideways. And I did like half the inspection. I was there for about 25 minutes, and there's people sleeping in all the bedrooms. I mean, like 4 adults in every bedroom. There's a lot of people there. And they're just like, what is this guy doing? But
I had a badge. You looked official.
I barged through, and they all seemed very nervous, too.
Yeah.
Half price.
Well, the agent called me about halfway in. She's like, where are you? You're always on time. I'm like, I'm here. I'm in the basement. She's like, no, you're not, because I'm here. I was like, okay, all right, we're all done. Bye, guys. And they're just like, yeah, go, get out.
Oh
They
my
were very glad to
gosh.
So
see
what
me
did
leave.
you do? Did you go back with like some gift of sorry, like put your head down and
You
say,
brought him your sunglasses.
I brought him the sunglasses from that other house. No, I just said, sorry, I'm all
Oh,
done,
man.
wrong house. That was it. I didn't know what else to do.
Yeah, I guess all you can do is apologize, move forward.
Yeah.
So, all right, when we get back, we're going to dig a little bit deeper with not going into the wrong houses or spilling water all over the place, but we're going to find some new problems to uncover. We'll be right back.
For more information on how we can provide you with the right information about your home before you buy or sell, contact us at structuretech1.com.
Are you looking for peace of mind when it comes to buying a home? StructureTech is on the case. At StructureTech, we provide a comprehensive menu of inspection services so you can make the most intelligent decision on your home purchase. We also offer radon testing, mainline sewer inspections, level 2 chimney inspections, and specialized stucco inspections. StructureTech, delivering the unbiased truth. Please visit us online at structuretech1.com.
You're listening to Structure Talk, brought to you by Structure Tech, the most highly rated home inspection company in the Midwest. Delivering to you the unbiased truth about your home.
Hi, we're back. I'm Bill. Tessa to my left, Reuben across the table, guest Jim in the other chair. So we've spilled a lot of water. We've gone into the wrong property addresses, did some inspections that weren't paid for as a result. Anything else, Reuben, that comes to mind?
Well, yesterday we started a house on fire.
Well, wait, what?
What?
It really wasn't our fault, but I did get a call yesterday saying, Reuben, I don't know what to do. It was all very panicky
Oh
from
my
one of our
gosh.
inspectors. And he said, the bathroom exhaust fan just started on fire.
Call the
What?
fire
He
department.
came upstairs. He had already called the fire
Oh, okay.
department.
Oh my gosh.
He called me next. The
Oh
fire
my
department was the
gosh.
first call. And like there's flames coming out, licking the ceiling. Like it wasn't like a little smoke. It was like a
Oh.
straight up fire.
Oh my
And
gosh.
you guys, we haven't even shared this with the team yet internally. But
Oh.
I mean, the fire department came, police, medical responders, everybody.
Wow.
Yeah, it was something else. And I'm like, are you okay? What is there anything you can do to put it out? He's like, I'm not going back in. I said, all right, sounds good. I'll trust your
Oh,
judgment.
no.
When he says, the bath fan started on fire, I'm thinking like a little smoldering or something.
Yeah.
He's like, no, there was straight up flame.
Wow.
So we haven't seen the
What?
pictures of this. That's the first thing I said. Did you get pictures? He's like, I got the hell out. I did not take any pictures. So no, we don't have any pictures to see, but we'll see pictures of the outside.
Okay, so Joe had a similar, it wasn't a bath fan that started on fire, but there was a natural gas fireplace that the birds had this beautiful nest built in it, and it was running for 5 minutes, and he had actually
Yeah.
gone on the roof.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
all of a sudden he's like smelling smoke, and he saw smoke coming up off the ground, and he's like, what in the world? And he like ran and
He
only,
got the garden hose
yeah.
from outside
Did
and he
he?
shot it at
He
it.
put the fire out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he called me next. He said, what should I do? I mean, I think it's all out. I said, I'd call 911 anyways. Call the
Oh
fire
my
department.
gosh.
And they came and they confirmed there's nothing going on. And then they left. But that was just kind of dot your I's, cross your T's.
Did that
Yeah.
melt siding? Was it a vinyl house or?
No, I think there was James Hardy or something more durable than plastic.
Oh my
but
gosh.
it there was no consequence in the end. I mean, and that was just bad luck, right?
That was his bath fan, too. I
Right.
mean,
What happened? Do you know why
we
it
have
started?
no idea. We're going to get the report when it comes out.
Yeah.
But we hadn't even been in the attic. The attic seal
Oh my
was still
gosh.
unbroken when this happened. So
Wow.
nobody can possibly say it's anything that we could have possibly
Good.
done.
What,
Yeah.
what year was the house?
87.
Okay.
What I suspect is that it was a dirty bath fan grill. We put a link in our home inspection report saying it's important to clean your bath fan exhaust grill because those fans cool themselves by air flowing through it.
Right.
And if you can't have air flowing through it, it can overheat. We actually have documented cases of fires starting in those from other fire departments. There's a fire department outside of Minnesota where they had issued a warning to their citizens saying, clean your bathroom exhaust grills. So
Did
I
he
think
take-
that's what happened.
Did he take the 360 picture so we could see that bath fan?
I didn't find that out yet.
So
Yeah.
internal company stuff. For every house that we go into, we take these 360-degree photos at the beginning of the inspection, and it's a good reference point for any questions that come up later about this was moved or that or whatnot. But so these things are really useful sometimes, and they can kind of give you a tip. The bottom line on all of this stuff is we have to make it right. Okay, I mean, if you got to call the disaster recovery team to come out and dry out a house, or if you have to call the fire department, we'll get to the bottom of it. A reputable company will, and it's just part of the cost of doing business, right?
Yeah. When we were on the break, you were saying something about that, Jim, about you had a
when I was
plumbing leak, right?
When I was still doing my training, I was following one of the other inspectors named Dustin. And luckily, Dustin, being a very capable contracting background, I had to clean up one of my mistakes. It wasn't even a mistake. It was a faulty faucet handle that when I went to turn it, just snapped right off. And we didn't have a tool in our bag or anything in our bag that would stop it from running. So you do what we know what to do, and that's turn the water off to the house. But no homeowner wants to come home and find that their water's off.
Yeah.
And when it's late afternoon, if you want to call a plumber out, that's going to cost somebody something. And Dustin took it upon himself to go to the hardware store, get the necessary pieces, do what he could do, which he was able to do, and that's fix that faucet handle. And to this day, I don't think I ever asked him who paid for that faucet handle. It should have been me, but I'm pretty sure.
Been me.
I wouldn't be surprised if that came out of Dustin's pocketbook. And he, me being the trainee, he didn't make me stick around. In fact, he told me it'd just be easier for him if he could just get it fixed up, and I could go ahead and get to my daycare and call it a day. But he took care of it.
I'm thinking about everybody on our team. I mean, kudos to Dustin, but that really could have been anybody on our team.
It could have been the homeowner that night. And they could have, and they might have, now they would have been the ones fixing it. And
well, no, what I'm saying is, just paying for it out of your own pocket,
True.
Not telling me about it, like that's just everybody at Structure Tech. That's how everybody operates. And I love everybody on our team so much, just for that kind of thing. It's team oriented. What do I need to do to fix this and move on?
That's how we roll. So we're going to wrap it up for today. If you've heard anything here that you find super interesting, you can always read more about it on our website, structuretech1.com. And Reuben's only got 350 blogs there from everything you could possibly want to know about a house. In fact, you could learn to become a home inspector. Just read Reuben's blog. Until we see you next time, thanks.
For more information on how we can provide you with the right information about your home before you buy or sell, contact us at structuretech1.com.